I actually prepared today a long intro and blah, 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 but I'm going to cut that out. I'm just going to get straight to the juice. So when it comes to business online, it doesn't really matter what the size of your business is, what the size of your list, what's the niche or industry you are in. There are two major assets that you're always looking at. For that matter, there is one big asset, which is your list. But at the same time, in order to keep growing that list and scale your business, you have only one main and tool, which is called traffic. Now, I would say, that probably most of you think that it doesn't really matter where traffic comes from as long as it comes. But it does matter. So what happens is that when it comes to traffic, I was talking to some of you guys last night, and I know some of you from previous events, and I know that most of you guys use JVs and affiliates, right? How many of you guys use JVs? Quite a few. So JVs is a great way to get traffic, but today I'm going to talk to you about different ways to acquire traffic that I know might sound a little tricky to you. And you might think, you know what, I know everything about what this girl is going to talk to me about. I'm going to dig into my Facebook, my emails. I don't care. I'm happy with my JVs. But please bear with me. I'm going to show you how you can add some extra value to your traffic sources so that you can get over some of the biggest challenges that when it comes to traffic every business owner has, which is one, how to acquire as much traffic in the most cost-effective way. And no, it's not JVs, it's not affiliates. And I'm going to show you in a second why. And two, how to find a perpetual and not seasonal source of traffic and how to automate it. So what happens with JVs and affiliates, it's a great way to acquire traffic. The problem is that it takes a lot of time. You have to connect, you have to interact. It's a seasonal way of acquiring traffic. You need to be launching something, you need a promo. So it's very difficult to automate it. And it's not the most cost-effective way. Let me tell you why. Just imagine a case scenario where you're making a $30,000 launch, and your value per lead is $30. Now what happens is that you actually end up leaving on the table, for that matter, you end up sending in your affiliate's pocket $15 out of those $30, which means two things. One is that you actually give away 50% of what you made. And two, you actually paid $15 for a lead, which is insane. Now, I'm going to tell you what's the range when it comes to cost per lead if you're using different and alternative source of traffic in addition to your JVs and affiliate. On AdWords, for example, the cost per lead, at least in Mindvalley, in the personal growth niche and the weight loss niche, ranges around $4, sometimes $3 to $6. $4 to $6 versus $15. On Facebook advertising, which is another source I'm going to briefly talk to you about today, you actually can get leads for less than $3. Of course, it depends on the niche. It depends sometimes in the financial world, for example, a cost per lead is higher even on PPC. But then your price point is much higher. And you get to keep all the money. You don't have to give 50% away. So even if you don't want to use Google AdWords and Facebook advertising, I'm going to prove to you today that it's one of the most, if not the most cost-effective way to acquire perpetual traffic and automate it. So I'm going to start with PPC. And I know 20 minutes is very little time, but that's why I prepared for you guys a swap file that you can download at the end of this presentation. I'm going to share the link with you later. So even if I cannot cover everything, you will find everything in there. So the first thing you want to do when you start your PPC campaigns is to start the conversation right. One of the biggest objections that I encounter when I talk to people about PPC is, I don't want to sound annoying. I don't want to have my ads out there and just slam my offers in the face of people. The thing is, and Brett Getz put it in very nice words, that ads can be very helpful if they are created properly, because advertising is not actually advertising when it's information. Imagine that you are in a long highway, you just started your journey, you are refreshed, you're fine. But 2 hours later, you are starving, you need to pee. And all of a sudden, all those billboards that were passing by becomes your only and most important source of information. You are actually so interested in them because you need to find a restaurant, you need to find a bar, or whatever else that you need to find. So if advertising reaches you in the right time and the right place, then becomes information, becomes the answer to your questions. And that's what PPC allow you to do way better than any other source of traffic. Now, I'm going to cover some important points that you want to keep in mind when you get started with your advertising campaign. So the first thing, which is quite obvious, but 90% of web marketers out there don't really do this, is to not send traffic to your homepage. Always create a designated landing page. I'm going to show you why in a second. Someone yesterday was asking me, how do I actually find out what people really look for in my niche? How do I position myself? How do I find my unique selling proposition? I'm going to show you how PPC and AdWords can actually help you do that almost instantly, almost overnight. And by having a designated landing page for specific keywords and specific needs that your people might have, you will find what's the winner. Now, I know another big objections that people raise is that Google became very strict, very severe, so there is not even point to get started because, he will just cut your legs. Well, in Mindvalley, we have the privilege of working with Google Malaysia, and we got a lot of insights that nobody else gets. And I put most of those inside the swipe file that I'm going to share with you guys later in this presentation. So you will find everything that you need to know in order to get your landing page approved by Google. The second thing you want to do when you start is to start with content network. If you're familiar with Google AdWords, you know there are different types of network. There is a search network and a content network. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of this, but what you need to know is that the content network is including all the partner websites, the websites that are allowing Google to actually advertise on their websites. When you find all the Google AdSense here and there inside blogs, inside websites, that's the Google Content Network. Why you want to start there? It's much cheaper and it's much easier. Most of the people will tell you the contrary, that the search network is actually the best way because it's more targeted. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. Start with content network. It's cheaper and it's way easier. And don't be greedy. Another big mistake that sometimes even advanced Google AdWords people do is to actually bid on the first or second position on the Google search. This is actually completely off. Why? First, is way more expensive, and B, you will end up attracting a lot of impulsive clickers, people that click on that without even reading it. If people click on your ad when it's positioned on the third or fourth or even fifth position, they actually took the time to go through the list, and they actually realized that your answer was the one to their questions. So that's super important. Now, I'm going to share with you some really cool extension that AdWords allow advertisers to use, and they're really powerful to boost your conversions and to boost your sales conversion, not only sign-up conversions, based on where you're driving traffic to. So one is called text link extension. I'm going to share a screenshot so you guys get to know what that means. What the text link extension allow you to do is to be the one and only choice on the page, on the Google page. Let me show you how. This is a link extension example. So as you see that there is the first sponsor ads followed by 4 links, 2 and then 2 parallel to the first ones. And the cool part is that every link can be sent to a specific sales page or landing page, and you can actually play with a lot of triggers. You can have a link that mentions the guarantee so people feel safe. You can have a link that mentions your company so that people feel relieved that there is a human being behind the ad, and so on and so forth. Now, let me tell you how much this boosts. Over 100% click-through rate in Boost. Every single ad in every single business that we have, and we have many, got that kind of results. So this is insane, and it just takes one tick. It's a box that you find in your Google AdWords interface, and it's really powerful. The second one, and last one I'm going to share with you about Google AdWords, allow you to boost conversions in a very unique way. So as you see here, you will see that there is an ad, and inside the ad, there is a sign-up form. This is super freaking powerful, especially if the sophistication of your market is actually pretty high, so people know a lot about your product and what you are selling and the benefits of it. They will be super happy to sign up right away, even before they see your landing page. This takes away a lot of pain when it comes to how your landing page is converting. You're converting on the ad already, so it's not really a big deal. So this is really powerful. Another important element that you always want to keep in mind when you get on Google AdWords is to figure out what your prospects really are looking for. And again, yesterday I was talking to someone who was asking me, how do I find that out? Well, it's really, really cool. And I'm going to share with you a case study on one of our most profitable businesses, which is chakrahealing.com, where only one word change in the headline, and I'm going to show you what the headline is, gave us 15% boost in conversion. One word that got changed in the headline. The word was healing. So previously, the headline was saying, take the 3-minute chakra test from Carol Tuttle. Now it says, take the 3-minute chakra healing test from Carol Tuttle. The only change of the word healing that we added after a research on Google AdWords and after realizing that actually most of the questions and the queries about chakra are related to healing, was just rocket our conversion. It was really, really powerful. And this made us realize that sometimes you don't really need to make big ninja changes. One word can change everything as long as you know what's the primary need of your audience. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is that Google AdWords is not the only one, the only source of perpetual and automatable traffic that you can possibly choose. There is another one that most of web marketers hate, which is called Facebook advertising. And to be honest with you, I am not really a big fan of social media because it's very tricky to monetize all these fans and likes and share, whatever. But we found a really cool way to do this. This is really, really powerful. Well, it doesn't sound powerful right now, but I'm going to show you how we actually did this in an effective way. So we used Facebook sponsor stories. Again, I was very, very against this idea. Sponsor stories, if you are not familiar with Facebook advertising, are ads that are promoting some posts that you just share on your Facebook fan page. You can promote the post to your fans and to the friends of your fans. So, but the question was, okay, now what? I mean, we got a lot of likes, we got a lot of shares, we got a lot of word of mouth. How do we convert these likes and shares? How do we make them monetizable? This is what we did. What we did was to start with a couple of sponsor stories across a week. And these sponsor stories were either driving traffic back to our blogs, so always content, not sales or not landing pages asking to sign up, always just content. After 2 or 3 days of sponsor stories, different sponsor stories, we would promote a marketplace ad, which is a traditional ad on Facebook where you drive people to your sales page or to your landing page, to the same exact people. And we realized that they were converting way more and way higher just because they were engaging with us before. So one of the biggest mistakes that people do on Facebook advertising is, A, to expect that people will convert in the long term like they do on PPC or AdWords. It's not the case. People on Facebook stumble upon you. They are not really actively looking for you. So what happens is that they are more likely to forget about you after 1 or 2 weeks, right? So what you want to do is you want to convert as many in the first 7 to 14 days. And in order to do so, you first need to engage them. Then you need to sell them. And again, just because it's very important, 2 or 3 days of sponsor stories, different sponsor stories to fans and 2 friends of fans, followed by, 1 day later, 1 marketplace ad that is selling our product, and it's actually targeting the same exact people. Now, let me show you some example. So this is just the sponsor stories that I think we are promoting it on our Chakra Healing Facebook fan page. And we got a lot of results in terms of Facebook likes, 1.8K, and over 600 signups. But again, where are the money? Well, here they are. This is another example taken from our Silva that Christine and Irina were mentioning before, is one of our more profitable businesses as well. We got 500 new likes, but we also got 315% ROI, return of investment, in a matter of 2 or 3 days. It was really, really, really powerful. I would never expect that. So you can become way profitable way sooner. You just have to make sure you don't wait too long, because Facebook leads will forget about you very soon. All right. Oh, and this is an example of a landing page. I was mentioning that the landing page we bring people to when it comes to sponsor stories is full of content. But we don't forget about signups. So as you see, this is just a very simple article that is extremely connected to what people are looking for in our Facebook fan page. But then we have a sign-up form on the right and a sign-up form. Actually, it's just a button just in the middle of the article. It's actually part of the article that you can see right now is just half, and then it keeps going. And the sign-up rate was really impressive. All right, so the takeaways. I have 4 minutes left, so I'm perfectly on time. So the first thing you want to do is to find as many perpetual sources of traffic. I'm not against JVs, and I'm not saying it's the wrong way to do business, but it's not the most effective way to build your biggest asset, which is the list. Figure out what your prospects are really looking for. Remember the healing headline? Just one word can change dramatically your conversion rates. You don't need any radical test. Again, sometimes just one small tweak can change everything. Just make sure you know the primary need in your niche. And unfortunately, I don't have time to cover this, but I'm going to be here for questions. So if you guys want to know how to actually figure out what your leads really want in Google AdWords, I'm available anytime. And then you want to start the conversation right from the beginning. Don't ignore where they come from. Leads from JVs behave differently than leads from Facebook advertising and leads from AdWords as well, and so on and so forth. There are many traffic sources you can possibly use. And I think I have time for a last thing that I wanted to mention. It's not really strictly related to Facebook or PPC, but it's a very cool case study that we just tested a few weeks ago. It's all about following it through. I mean, traffic is all about acquiring, but then you also have to follow through. Not only inside the funnel, but also paying attention to what's the behavior of your customer. And one of the most common behavior of many customer prospects or potential customers is to abandon the cart too soon. For many reasons. They have the, I don't know, a lot of syndromes that bring them to actually decide at the end, last minute, not to take the decision. Then we decided to, in Mind Valley, Italy, we did this test, and we decided to get in touch with these people. Surprisingly enough, we got 10 to 15% of those people who actually bought. So this is really powerful. It took a matter of 20 minutes, half an hour, and we got a lot of sales. So again, this is not strictly connected to how you acquire traffic, but it's very important to always understand what's the behavior of your customer. So yay, 1 minute and 38 seconds.